Potato croquette with ham. Total deliciousness again. I know I'm making you so spoiled here. Welcome to V's Cooking with Love channel. Oh gosh, I did grow up on some croquettes in Poland even. They are actually Italian recipe, but they were a little bit different. These are a little bit different, so stay put to my channel so you can experience that taste as well. They are so crispy on the outside and they are so creamy and very delicate. They are very delicate. Even when you are making them, you will know what I'm talking about. And by adding the ham, you can utilize your leftovers between ham or even mashed potatoes. How about that? Oh gosh, I'm telling you, you can get so diversified with them. So yeah, let's cook. So we have some potatoes here that of course we'll be peeling and boiling them. Like I said, I'm using ham here, but you can use prosciutto, you can use bacon and ham. Oh gosh, I know, just whatever you have that you want to make them with, it will be great. So yes, subscribe to my channel so you will not lose the other recipe I'm talking about. That one requires a whole bunch of eggs. My mom, you see, I grew up on the farm. We had a pretty big farm, but my mom and my father, they had a polka band, and every weekend they were going out and having fun without me, and they were playing at the wedding. So my mom was exposed to all sorts of cuisine out there, all sorts of cooking, plus she took even courses for cooking, so she always came up with all sorts of recipes. She was known for her cakes even, and she still is. And I am telling you, I am so blessed that I was able to grow up that way, and I can share this croquette recipe that is a little bit different than hers, but I know you will enjoy it too. It has some cheeses, as you can see. They can be even not necessarily fried. They can be baked or even air fried. So keep that in mind. You see, the ingredients are, you know, potato, cheese, ham, breadcrumbs. We have some parsley and chives, some eggs, and I'll of course walk you through it. So yes, we are peeling our potatoes and we will be boiling them. I kind of don't like to cook them very small. I feel like they are less fluffy once they are done. Of course they do cook quicker, but mine, they were like a medium large, so I cut them to 3 pieces, and of course the salted water, and I covered the pan to make sure that I'm not losing all that steam coming out so much. If you do, you might have to add some water so the potatoes are nice and well done. And we drain them of course and let them sit a little bit until they are ready to handle. Yes, I love to use my ricer here. You can use a meat grinder too. You just want to make sure that the potatoes are without lumps. The fluffier the better. So that's all. And we will put them, if you want, in the refrigerator to cool off quicker, somewhere where they will be just like a warmish to work with. And yeah, I have about maybe a little bit more than 2 cups of potatoes once they were mashed. And yes, we are using 2 eggs, but we are splitting the yolks and whites. 2 different missions for these 2 parts here. And once the potatoes are ready, we are of course just adding the ham, about 1 cup of it, bacon, probably 5-6 slices if you have it, of course cooked and broken up to little pieces. The same thing with ham. You see, this is great for your holiday leftovers. If you have mashed potatoes, if you have that ham, like I said, oh voila. So yes, I'm adding some cheese here. This is actually cheddar. You can add different cheeses that maybe you have on hand, but I kind of like to use just a cheddar, and I also add some Parmesan cheese as well, like a half a cup of that cheddar, 1/3 or so, or maybe half a cup of Parmesan. You see, the thing is, this is a very forgiving recipe. You can tweak it one way or another. And once that's in, I'm adding my egg yolks. I mix them a little bit so they are broken up. And of course from there we'll be adding additional my salt and pepper and nutmeg. I do like to use some nutmeg in here too. So maybe 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I'm also adding some parsley, the flat leaf, the Italian parsley, and some chives. If you don't have chives, you can use a little bit sauteed onion and that will be fine too. You can use some scallion too, about a teaspoon to two tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of each parsley and chives. I kind of like a lot of that flavor here. And you see what we are trying to do, we are just mixing all that together. Nutmeg, I didn't tell you, probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. I kind of like nutmeggy here. If you don't have nutmeg, that's fine. They will be fine just with salt and pepper. You're getting so much flavor already from ham and parsley and chives that that will be very tasty as it is. And egg yolks, they make things so nice and colorful. Those potatoes, they come so beautiful. You just want to make sure they are combined very well, and you can make patties out of it. And yes, our egg whites, you want to beat them pretty good. You might want to drizzle a little bit of water so they are kind of like mixing a little bit better on you. And that way you are using those just for dipping those little patties that we are making out of it. Yes, you can make them into little balls as well. Probably smaller than a ping pong, I would say, slightly, but those, they might be better for deep fryer or baking or air frying. These patties are about 2.5 to 3 inches. You can use like a measuring cup that is about 1/4 cup or 1/3 of a cup. If you want them exactly the same, I don't even measure. I just kind of ballpark it. I've made them so many times. And yes, use one hand for the wet side of the patty to mix it later in a breadcrumb, because we are dipping them in an egg white first, and then of course in the breadcrumb. Just shake it off really good, the breadcrumbs off of it, and make sure the edges are really good and coated. I would say they are maybe slightly less than 1 inch high, and we are just setting them here on some kind of tray or plate. We will be making them all, of course, the same way. Like I said, you can measure with some kind of scoop to make sure they are identical, and just make sure they combine well. If they are too dry for some reason, guess what? You can add sour cream, you can add another whole egg. If you want to, some recipes call for adding flour. I kind of like them without it. They are fluffier and they are so delicate that way too. So you see, the process is very simple. No fancy equipment here either, so they are nice and easy to make, and you can make them ahead of time. I'll show you how you can work with that too. You can even reheat them later as well, so you can use them as an appetizer, or you can use them as a side dish. How about that? And once we are all done with them, like I said, we will put them maybe in a refrigerator for about a half an hour or so. That way the breadcrumbs, they will attach to those croquettes a little bit better and stay put instead of falling off into the oil. Because when you're getting them into the oil, they will start to burn, especially if you have few batches that you are baking. When you are frying them, when you're baking, that's different. But when you are frying them, that's something you want to make sure that breadcrumbs, it's attached very well to it. So like I said, one hand, it's always good to keep it in the egg white, and the other one in the breadcrumbs. These are just the panko breadcrumbs. Some folks, maybe you want to use seasoned. I didn't. I like kind of the flavor the way it is without additional seasoning, and I normally like to make my own seasoning for my breadcrumbs anyway. So you see, they are all done. I came up with 7 of them here. If you are making them smaller, you will need probably about a cup of those breadcrumbs or so. If you're making them into a little bowls, maybe you will use up a little bit more breadcrumbs. It really depends on the shape, because that way when they are way smaller, they will absorb more breadcrumb all around them. So keep that in mind too. So yes, let them sit, let them chill, and when you are ready, we will be getting our frying pan here that I'm doing. But like I said, you can bake them at 400 for about 10-12 minutes. Just drizzle them a little bit with oil. The pan needs to be hot for frying. Once the pan is heated on that medium-high heat, I'm adding the oil. I use olive oil here, and I use about 1/4 inch of height at least in my frying pan here. If you are using deep fryer, that's, you know, whatever. So you don't have to use a deep fryer for that, and you can save on that oil as well. So they are going in once they are really, really preheated. Keep that in mind. The oil has to be very hot. You are putting them very carefully too, away from your body. So if something splashes, it goes the other way. That's another tip here. You don't want to also overcrowd them. Here I only fit about 4 of them at a time, so I'll have to cook in 2 batches. If you are cooking bunch of batches, you might have to add a little bit of oil if you are getting a little bit lower, and that way also your breadcrumbs, they won't burn if you add a little bit of that oil to between your batches. And you see, you can kind of see it when they are turning that golden brown color on the bottom. You'll be cooking them for that about 3-4 minutes on each side. And to flip them, be careful also. I found it that using a little spatula and that kind of serving fork, it was the best, because I can catch that on that spatula, and when it flips, it doesn't go down into the oil and it doesn't splash. So that's my little tip for this kind of frying. You might want to use a couple little spatulas as well. So here you have that flipping situation under control, and just let them have that nice color on each side. And for this pan, like I said, here you have 4, so I had 3 more left to cook later. Once they are ready to come out, you might want to set them either on a cooling rack. I like to put it a little bit on a paper towel just to absorb that oil, but don't let them sit on it long, because they'll come up to be like soggy. So if you let them be on the paper towel, take them off and put them on a cooling rack, and that way they will absorb that oil just very fast, and they'll be ready to go on a cooling rack. Okay, so we are cooking the other batch again, that 3-4 minutes on each side for that beautiful gold color we are looking for, and that's what gives them that nice crispy taste when you are cutting into them. They are the best to serve warm, not too hot, maybe you don't want to burn yourself, but definitely warm. So you see, you can actually reheat them in the oven at about 350 for a few minutes if you want to serve them some other time later, or when the company arrives. So you can make them sooner, or you can just wait once you have your mixture done and finish up your cooking. Then you can even make them to the patties and just do the breadcrumbs later while the company is here talking. You can just fry them or bake them very fresh. And you see, that's what I mean. They are so fluffy on the inside and so crispy on the outside, and with all that flavor, with the simple spices here, really, even salt and pepper, that's all you will need, because like I said, that ham and the parsley and chives, or if you did that little bit of onion or scallion, that's fine too. If you don't like that, you can even skip that and just use the parsley, and that will be fine too. I just think something adds additional layer of flavor. So you see, what a deliciousness. My mouth is still watering. My husband loves these. This was something that I cooked very often as a serving side for our turkey. So that's one suggestion. Or you can even make a little dipping sauce if you are serving this as an appetizer and you want something to dip it in. Just some sour cream, Parmesan cheese, and a little bit of salt. You can add maybe a little bit of garlic powder. To about a half a cup of sour cream, I would add about 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I always use fresh nutmeg. I always use fresh Parmesan cheese that I grate myself. This is perfect finger food too. I'm telling you, if your company comes over, this is something they will definitely enjoy it. And we always do. I know you will too. Let me know. Thank you for watching. Yes, we will see you next time.